Hello, friends. When Lenin died in 1924, he left behind a power vacuum the size of Siberia. And in the race to fill it, two titans clashed, Leon Trotsky and Joseph Stalin. Their rivalry was more than just a political battle. It was a brutal chess match where the winner would reshape the future of the Soviet Union. Spoiler alert, Stalin didn't just win, he obliterated his competition. Let's start with Trotsky, shall we? The man was a revolutionary rock star, the architect of the Red Army, a brilliant orator, and a sharp-minded intellectual. He had been Lenin's right-hand man, playing a key role in the October Revolution and the Civil War. In many ways, Trotsky seemed like the natural successor. He had the brains, the revolutionary credentials, and the charisma. Stalin, on the other hand, was more of a behind-the-scenes operator. He lacked Trotsky's flashy public presence, but made up for it with political ruthlessness and cunning. While Trotsky wrote eloquent speeches about the future of communism, Stalin was stacking the deck, placing his loyalists in key positions, slowly tightening his grip on the party machinery. The first major blow to Trotsky came at Lenin's funeral. Trotsky, suffering from illness and bad timing, didn't attend. Stalin, meanwhile, stood front and center, grieving publicly and painting himself as Lenin's true successor. It was a public relations masterstroke. While Trotsky was resting, Stalin was cementing his image as the heir to the revolution. But Stalin wasn't just playing the PR game, he was rewriting the rules. As general secretary, he controlled party appointments, meaning he could promote allies and sideline rivals. He used this power ruthlessly, stacking the party with his supporters and isolating Trotsky politically. Meanwhile, Trotsky made mistakes. He was a theoretical purist, more interested in debating Marxist ideology than in gathering political allies. He also came across as arrogant and aloof, which made him unpopular with many Bolsheviks. Stalin, on the other hand, played the humble, practical man, winning favor with party members who found Trotsky too intellectual and condescending. By 1925, the cracks in Trotsky's influence were starting to show. Stalin, along with his temporary allies Lev Kamenev and Grigory Zinoviev, managed to sideline Trotsky by stripping him of his military command. The man who had once led the Red Army was now being treated like a political outcast. But here's where it gets downright Machiavellian. Once Stalin had used Kamenev and Zinoviev to push Trotsky out, he turned on them too. He played his former allies against each other, pitting factions within the party against one another, while he slowly emerged as the dominant force. By 1927, Trotsky was expelled from the party, and in 1929, he was exiled from the Soviet Union altogether. It was a stunning fall from grace. The man who had once been at the forefront of the revolution was now wandering through foreign lands, reduced to writing scathing critiques of the regime from afar. Meanwhile, Stalin's power grew unchecked. He had successfully outmaneuvered not only Trotsky, but also his former allies, turning the Bolshevik leadership into his personal playground. Trotsky, from exile, tried to rally opposition through his writings, but Stalin had no patience for rebel scribes. And let me tell you, Stalin didn't like loose ends. Even though Trotsky was halfway across the world, Stalin eventually sent an assassin to deal with him. In 1940, Trotsky was murdered in Mexico City, his skull cracked open with an ice pick. A final, brutal checkmate in a rivalry that had spanned decades. But Stalin wasn't satisfied with just winning the game. He wanted to rewrite the rules entirely. And so, he turned his attention inward, systematically eliminating any remaining opposition and consolidating his power. But that, my friends, is a story for next time.